Well, good evening and welcome to This Week at Little Hills. I am so excited to be with you as we continue into the Advent season. In fact, you can see on screen our upcoming events, including our Sunday Advent services with candle lighting and Blue Christmas, which I hope you'll invite someone to. It speaks to those places where we're not really ready for what the Lord's preparing us for. A lot of times we don't feel ready for Christmas. We don't feel like our hearts are in the right place. We're wrestling with things. We're confused. And that's a great place to come to come before the Lord and understand that's something that's normal and human, and also something that God has an answer for. We need to prepare. My friend the spider right here is preparing. We've had some really nice, unseasonably warm weather these last few weeks compared to what we often have, and so still a spider out. And you think about a spider like that. My friend here, this is quite a large spider. How do you become a large spider? Well, you prepare, you put webs out, you put them out in strategic places, and you wait what you know is supposed to happen, that the bugs are going to come out and that you are going to be well fed. Well, when we think about the Israelites, God was preparing the Israelites. He was preparing them to do what he had called them to do. But they come to Samuel in 1 Samuel chapter 8, and they aren't preparing in the right way. We looked at this a few weeks ago in our Tuesday night Bible study. They come and they say, "We'd like a king." This is what we read in verse 6. But this request displeased Samuel, for they said, "Give us a king to lead us." So Samuel prayed to the Lord. The Lord said to Samuel, "Do everything the people request of you, for it is not you that they have rejected, but it is me that they have rejected as their king. Just as they have done from the day that I brought them up from Egypt until this very day, they have rejected me and served other gods. This is what they are also doing to you." That's what we continue to do. We continue to try to figure out how to make everything work. I think that's part of the reason we struggle when things aren't working. Part of what we can be comforted by together in a service like Blue Christmas. We're also going to be looking at this verse this week as we continue our Advent series. And as we think more about it, what we're going to be challenged by is, what were they thinking was God's preparation? How were they preparing for it versus what God was calling them to that was so much better? He was going to give them a king himself, but that wasn't really what they were looking for. They were going to come up hungry. My friend here, my friend's preparing in the exact right way if you're a spider. My spider friend is not going to be hungry. And God calls us to understand how he's calling us to pull things together too, to spin those webs of life in a productive way, in a God-pleasing way. And when we do, what do we find? Well, he provides for us, just as he provides for every creature that he makes, including the spiders that we see around our houses and places we travel. We look at this beautiful nature. It's all God's provision. Everything we see, it's God's provision. And so if we can be reminded of that, and so then when we're trying to figure everything out, we're reminded that God is with us in it, that he's good and faithful. That's a way to be strengthened by his Spirit, to be called away from how we try to solve it ourselves, and we cry out. As you hear voices in the background crying out, we cry out just kind of randomly, but instead we turn to him. And that's what we're going to try to help each other to do at Blue Christmas and in our Sunday service. So I hope to see you there, 5:30 p.m. for the Sunday service, 7 p.m. for Blue Christmas. You don't want to miss it. I have the information back up on screen once again. And let's keep digging into this Advent season together. Merry Christmas preparation from both me and from my multi-legged friend. I'll see you soon.